Hello, my name is Alvaro Montano, and I'm going to be talking about chapter 5, which covers the topic of listening. This was actually a really interesting chapter to me because I found a lot of what I was reading to be true. For starters, it says that the importance of listening and having listening skills is commonly overlooked because people usually think that communicating and speaking is the most important part of the whole idea of communication. Being a student, I also felt very connected with this chapter because I do a lot of listening myself every single day. The 5 stages of the listening process are receiving, interpreting, recalling, evaluating, and responding. And they are extremely important in my everyday experiences as a student at UTSA. The first step of this process that I use as a student is the receiving step. Being in class, I receive a lot of the information from my professors. After receiving the information, I have to interpret the information in order to make sense of it. During this stage of the listening process is what I understand the stimuli that I have received. The next step, recalling, is not something that I necessarily use every day. However, I do use it sometimes when I need to participate or answer a question in class and I have to talk about something that I either read the night before or discuss in a prior class. I also use recalling on tests or quizzes. You cannot just believe everything that you hear. You have to do some evaluating to decide if the information is reliable or complete. Whenever I am listening to a professor, I do catch myself evaluating what they're saying and deciding whether or not I think it is actually true. Responding is kind of like recalling. It is not something that I use every single day, but I do use it sometimes when I need to respond to the speaker that I am listening to. The only type of responding that I do use often would be eye contact with my professor, or a small head nod when he asks if we were all understanding. The text defines listening as the learned process of receiving, interpreting, recalling, evaluating, and responding to verbal and nonverbal messages. Listening comes before any other type of verbal or nonverbal type of communication. There are different processes for listening, types of listening, and styles of listening that are all very important in communications. Listening should be given more attention and more credit because really, after reviewing this chapter, it seems more important than actually speaking. You cannot be a good speaker if you are not a good listener.